A very good morning to all of you once again, and we have already started with the lesson laws of motion. In that, we have learned about distance, displacement, speed, velocity, and effect of speed and direction on velocity. Right now, if you try to recall, distance is nothing but the actual path traveled by an object, okay, and it does not have any direction, so it is independent of the direction. That means whenever any object covers a distance, it is nothing but it is the actual path which is traveled. For example, an object travels from A to B and then from B to C, from C to and from C to D. So the actual path traveled is AB, BC and CD. Fine. So object has traveled from A to D, and in between it has traveled from AB, BC, CD. Right. So that is the distance which is covered by an object, which is actual path, and here we do not include any direction. Right. Even when you go for an outing, if anybody asks you from here to Goa, what is the distance, you will never tell that this is the direction of from here to go to Goa. You will just tell the total distance from Kankauli to Goa, right? So that is the distance. But what is displacement? Displacement is the minimum distance or the shortest distance between the starting point and the finishing point, or the initial point and the finishing point. That means here if you talk about A to B, B to C, C to D, the starting point is A and ending point, finishing point is D. That means the displacement is should be from A directly to D. That is the shortest possible distance. That is displacement, and displacement has direction, and therefore it is a vector quantity that you have learnt last time. Then even you have learnt about what is meant by speed and velocity. Speed is related to distance, whereas velocity is related to displacement. Why? Speed is also a scalar quantity because it is related to distance. It is measuring the distance upon time. You have learnt in the previous classes about the formula, and this year also you have recalled it, that is speed is equal to distance upon time. So speed tells you how fast or how slow an object moves, right? Velocity is little one step ahead because it also tells about the direction, since it is related to displacement. Displacement also shows direction. So velocity is little higher as compared to that of the speed. But speed and velocity becomes the same if an object travels on a straight line. Okay, so if an object travels in one direction only, then speed and velocity becomes the same. Right, so with this recalling, let's move ahead because it is related to the next part of our topic, that is uniform and non-uniform linear motion. Now, what is linear motion? So linear motion you have learnt in the previous class that it is a motion on a straight line, right? If any moving object moves on a straight line, then it will be called as linear motion. Now what is meant by uniform and non-uniform? Difference between these two, let us try to find out by taking an example. So first I will tell you the definition of what is uniform motion, and based on that we will try to understand what it is exactly. Now if an object covers equal distances in equal time intervals, it is said to be moving with uniform speed. Now, what is that equal distances and equal intervals of time? So, equal distances means whenever an actual path is taken. Now, for example, here one boy is shown to be moving very faster on a straight line, right, on a straight route. So, here the paths are like A to B, B to C, C to D. Okay, so the actual path is AB, BC and CD. Right. So from A to B, what is the distance? 10 meters. And how much is the time taken for this boy to walk from A to B? It is around 5 seconds. So he within 5 seconds he walked around 10 meters. Whereas from B to C, when he is walking, again it is 10 meters, and again in 5 seconds. Again in another 5 seconds he walks 10 meters. So if you carefully see here, he is covering equal distances in equal intervals of time. So when he is walking equal distance, equal intervals of time, we can easily find out the speed by using the formula distance upon time. And let's try to find out at each of these paths from AB, BC, CD, what is the what is the speed, and even we will try to find out the average speed of this person walking. Now if you see from A to B, it will be 10 is the distance and time is 5 seconds. So 10 upon 5, when you divide, you get the answer 2 meters per second. So that means he walks 2 meter in 1 second. That is its speed. Let us try to find out from the path BC. So from the path BC, again it is 10 meters per 5 seconds. So 10 by 5, again it becomes 2 meters per second. Again 10 meters per 5 seconds from the path CD. So it also becomes 2 meters per second. So for each path, the speed of this boy or this person is 2 meters per second. So it is uniform. Every time it is uniform. At each of the distances is uniform. The speed is uniform. Okay, so it is uniform motion. Since the speed is uniform, it is uniform motion. Okay, so AB 2 meters per second, BC 2 meters per second, CD 2 meters per second. And since it is every time it is 2 meters per second, it is a uniform motion. Let's try to find out now its average speed. Now you know the formula of average speed is total distance upon total time taken. So total distance means we have to take now all the paths travelled, AB, BC, CD, add them and find out what is the total distance. So it will be 10 plus 10 plus 10, it will be 30 meters, and total time will be 5 plus 5 plus 5, which will be equal to 15 seconds. So 30 upon 15 seconds, when you try to find out, the answer will be again 2 meters per second. So its average speed also comes to 2 meters per second. So that means this is a type of uniform motion, example of uniform motion. Fine. So I hope you must have understood what is uniform motion. Now let's try to find out what is non-uniform linear motion. Now its definition is, if an object covers unequal distances but in equal intervals of time, then it is said to be moving with non-uniform speed. Let's try to find out now whether it is non-uniform or uniform. If you see the actual path now, the path is from AB, BC, CD. AB is 10 meters, BC 20, and CD is 5 meters. So is it equal? No. All the distances are different. That means even the speed will be also different. Let's try to find out along each of these paths whether the speed is same or unequal. So in the first path, that is AB, the distance is 10 meters and time is 5 seconds. So every time, if you note down, time is same, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Right? So when you divide 10 by 5, first in the first path AB, it is 2 meters per second is the speed. Second part 20 upon 5, it becomes 4 meters per second. That means its speed, the boy's speed has increased 2 times. Correct? That is from 2 meters it has come to 4 meters per second. And lastly, it is 1 meter per second. That means again the speed has reduced. So here you see that there is non-uniformity in the speed. Okay? Why? Because the distances are unequal every path travelled. Correct? Since it is non-uniform distances, even the speed becomes non-uniform. Okay? So therefore this type of motion is called as non-uniform motion. And you will find this maybe a straight road, it might be a straight road, linear road, but if there is traffic on the road, then you will find non-uniform type of motion. So this is an example of these are, I hope you have understood what is uniform and non-uniform motion. So if you try to find out average speed here, average speed will be 10 plus 20 plus 5, which comes to 35, and 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15 seconds. Okay, so you will get the answer in decimals, right? So average speed also differs from the speed at every path. Fine. So this is regarding non-uniform motion. Now here the time interval was equal. In another case, the distances might be equal, but the time intervals may be different. Like for example, AB is 10 meters, BC is 10 meters, CD is also 10 meters. But first 10 meters, the person has travelled within 5 seconds. In the second, he might have travelled in 4 seconds. Third, he might have travelled in 2 seconds. So that is also a type of non-uniform motion. Right, students? So you can write non-uniform motion as if an object covers unequal distance in equal intervals of time, or it may be also an object covers equal distances in unequal intervals of time is also a type of non-uniform motion. Right. So let's take an example from your textbook, and you need to write the answer which is given on your textbook, page number 4. Okay, page number 4. So let's see the example of that. Uniform and non-uniform linear motion. Amar, Akbar and Anthony are travelling in 3 different cars. You can see the 3 different cars of 3 different people. The distances covered by them during the different time intervals are given in the following table. So let's see that table. What is the time intervals of each one of them? So time in the clock is given in the first column: 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, 7, okay, 7:30, 8 o'clock, right? So if you see the time is uniform, half an hour is the gap, or maybe 30 minutes is the time interval. So time interval is equal. Let's see now the distances travelled by each one of them, Amar, Akbar and Anthony. So Amar's distance, if you see, it is in the first at 5 o'clock it was at rest. That means since it is 0 kilometers, that means the car was at rest at 5 o'clock. Within half an hour it has travelled around 20 kilometers. Okay, then next half an hour he has travelled 40 kilometers. Next half an hour 60 kilometers, then 80, 100 and 120. If you see every half an hour, you will calculate, you will get that each half an hour Amar has travelled 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Right? So that means his distance, the distance which is covered by Amar with each half an hour is equal. Correct? Let's see now about distance covered by Akbar in kilometers. So Akbar, if you see, in the at first it was at rest, even Anthony was at rest. We will see both of them together. So by 5:30, Akbar covered around 18 kilometers. Next half an hour, 36 kilometers. Next half an hour, 42. Next half an hour, 70. If you see in the first and second half an hour, he has covered equal distance, that is 18 and 18. But later on, he has not covered 18 kilometers. The difference is different. Right? So that means the distances covered by Akbar is non-uniform. Correct? Or unequal distances. Whereas distance covered by Anthony, we will see. First half an hour he covers 14 kilometers. Next half an hour he covers 28 kilometers. Okay. Next is 42, then 56, 70 and 84. So in the case of Anthony also, if you find, the table is table of 14 kilometers. That means he is also covering equal distances in equal intervals of time. So now you have to tell now the question. What is the time interval between the notings of notings made by Amar, Akbar and Anthony? It is half an hour. Correct? Who has covered equal distance in equal time intervals? It is nothing but Amar and Anthony, right? Are all the distances covered by Akbar in the fixed time intervals the same? No is the answer. Next. Considering the distances covered by Amar, Akbar, Anthony in fixed time intervals, what can you say about their speeds? So if you see in the case of Amar and Anthony, they have covered equal distances and equal intervals of time. So both of them have shown uniform motion, or they have travelled with uniform speed. Therefore, their motion is uniform. Whereas in the case of Akbar, he has travelled unequal distances in equal intervals of time. So that means his speed is different at each of the paths. Correct? So at each time interval it is different. So here it is non-uniform speed or non-uniform motion. So this is regarding uniform and non-uniform motion. Now let's continue further with the next part of the lesson. Okay, so this is what we have just now learnt about uniform and non-uniform motion. Right? Now look at this boy now. Okay, if you see this boy, he's coming down from a slide. Even you might have experienced a ride on a slide, right? So when you sit on the slide at the beginning, you find you are at rest, right? So when you start moving down, you will find that your speed or your velocity is going on increasing. Instead of using now speed, I'm going to use the term called as velocity, okay, because it is a little higher and it is moving in one direction. If you see, only one direction is moving. So speed and velocity over here of that person will be equal. But instead of using the word speed, I'm going to use the word called as velocity here. So if you notice, when you begin on a slide, okay, the velocity, initial velocity when you are at rest is 0. Here you have initial velocity which is 0. Then slowly the velocity goes on changing. It goes on changing, it goes on increasing. In the middle it goes on increasing. But finally when you land down, okay, you find again your velocity becomes it has decreased and it becomes completely 0 towards the end. So that means you find that the velocity goes on changing here. Okay, velocity goes on changing here with the time. Okay, so velocity, when the velocity goes on changing with the time, okay, so this type of phenomena is also called as acceleration. Okay, it is also called as acceleration. So acceleration is the term, okay, is nothing but it is the rate of change of velocity. It is the rate of change of velocity. Rate means what? Velocity goes on changing with time. Okay, velocity goes on changing with time. It might increase or it might decrease, but it is changing. Okay, from the initial to the final, right? So that is called as acceleration. So acceleration is nothing but the rate of change of velocity. Okay, so even you might have heard about an accelerator in your scooter or maybe a car. Accelerator is there. That means you go on changing the speed of the vehicle or the velocity of the vehicle. On the especially the scooter, you will do like this, right? That is called as accelerating. That means you are going on changing the velocity at every time interval. Okay, so it change after few minutes or maybe seconds or maybe an hour. It goes on changing with time. So that is acceleration. I hope so you have understood what is the next term now, because we will be going higher and higher now. Acceleration is given by the formula change in velocity upon time. Okay, that means after a certain time there is change in the velocity. Like for example, now if you take a path, A to B linear motion, we will talk right now about linear motion. Okay, A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E and whatever it is. Suppose the object has started from A to B. Its distance is okay, from A to B, the person to go, it requires the speed 10 meters per second. Okay, 10 meters per second in 5 seconds. Suppose after 5 seconds, the person has come to a velocity of 10 meters per second. From A, the person has started from rest. Okay, vehicle or an object has started from rest from A to go to B. After 5 seconds, he or she has acquired a velocity of 10 meters per second from A to B. Then from B to C, okay, from B to C, suppose again another 5 seconds. Okay, in another 5 seconds, the velocity has increased to 20 meters per second. Okay, A to B, it was 10 meters. Then it has increased to 20 meters per second in another 5 seconds. Now from B to C, another 5 seconds, it has decreased to 5 meters per second. So that means here you see there is change in the velocity. 10 meters per second in 5 seconds. Then 20 meters per second is the velocity in another 5 seconds. In another 5 seconds, the velocity has changed to 5 meters per second. So there is, every time there is change in the velocity, and velocity is also displacement upon the time taken. So therefore it is meters per second. That's why I am saying 10 meters per second, 20 meters per second and 5 meters per second in time intervals of 5 second, 5 second, 5 second. So 15 seconds. So you get the change in velocity. First it was increased from 10 to 20, then again it has decreased. Okay, so here you see there is change in the velocity. Fine. From the initial velocity to the final velocity, it is different. Final velocity when we take, we can either take it from the first initial point to the finishing point, or maybe the paths in between traveled. Right. Now, so here I have talked about now two different terms, initial velocity and final velocity. So change in the velocity can be determined by finding out how much is the final velocity. From final velocity we have to take out initial velocity. Like for example, A to B, it was 10 meters. So it has started initially from 0 to it has taken to 10 meters. So final minus, if you want to find out the change in velocity from the path AB, it will be final minus initial. You will get the answer 10 meters per second within 5 seconds. Correct? So that is the change in velocity. From B to C. Okay. So final from B is at 10 meters now, and C is at 20 meters. So here now B becomes initial velocity, C becomes final velocity. So here if you want to find out how much is the change in the velocity from 10 to 20, you will have to take final velocity minus initial velocity. Final velocity is 20, initial velocity is 10. So 20 minus 10 becomes 10 meters per second in another 5 seconds. So this way you can find out the acceleration at every path traveled. Is that clear? So what you have to do, acceleration change in velocity is nothing but final velocity. If you want to find out the change in velocity, you will have to always subtract initial velocity from final velocity. Okay. So final velocity minus initial velocity upon time taken for attaining that velocity. Fine. Now, so you are getting a formula, acceleration, which is denoted by the letter A is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity upon time taken. Now always remember, initial velocity is designated by the letter small u and final velocity is designated by the letter small v. So the formula becomes v minus u upon t. Remember this formula? A is equal to, where A is acceleration, is equal to v minus u upon t. Fine. Now you know v is velocity, it is given by meters per second. U is also given by meters per second. Finally, when you find out the answer, Okay, whatever it is, 20 minus 10, it becomes 10 meters per second upon 5 seconds, suppose, upon 5 seconds. So 10 divided by 5 second, 10 meters per second divided by 5 second, you are getting the answer 2 meters per second square. Okay, now the unit, SI unit of acceleration is meters per second square. Okay, up to now you have learned about speed and velocities units, that is meters per second, meters per second, but acceleration is meters per second square. Why that is coming? It's because finally when you find out the answer of the change in velocity, you get 2 meters per second of the velocity upon second of the time. So that second, when this second goes up, it becomes second square. Is that clear, students? Okay, so therefore the SI unit of acceleration is meters per second square. Fine. Now let's move ahead. Let's learn about something more. So acceleration, if the velocity of an object changes during a certain time period. So let's move forward again with the next part of acceleration. If the velocity of an object changes during a certain time period, then it is said to have accelerated motion. That means velocity, if it goes on changing at every time intervals, okay, if the time intervals, if you keep it fixed, 5 second, 5 second, 5 second, or maybe 10, whatever, time may be anything, but it is equal. When you have to calculate the accelerated motion, you will be considering the equal intervals of time. Is that clear? So, time period, so if the velocity of an object goes on changing during a certain time period, a fixed time period, then it is said to have accelerated motion. An object in motion can have two different types of acceleration. Let's see now what are the two different types of acceleration. Okay, so here the first one is, if the velocity changes by equal amount in equal intervals of time, the object is said to be in uniform acceleration. Now what does this mean? Now you can see a car is moving here with uniform acceleration. That means at every different time intervals, okay, it is uniformly moving with a uniform acceleration. So if you have taken like this, it will be like this only. Okay, you don't have to do this way. If it is doing like this, that means you have changed your acceleration. Okay, so uniform acceleration means every time interval you will have the same reading. Let's see now in this example whether it is a type of uniform acceleration or not. Now if you see from the path traveled by this car A, suppose it is at rest, then it goes to B, from B to C, C to D. Fine. So D is the final distance, final point, finishing point. So in between there are so many different paths. Let's see what is the velocity of this car in the first 5 seconds from rest, that is 0, to how much it is till when it reaches to B. So after 5 seconds, its speed or its velocity of speed, it is one and the same because it is the linear motion right now. So here the shortest distance also becomes the same as that of the actual path traveled. Fine. So now if you see, when it is traveling from A to B, it is within 5 seconds it has achieved 10 meters per second. Okay. From B to C, it has achieved 20 meters per second, and from C to D, it has achieved around 30 meters per second. Okay, now I think so. From A, it has started from 10 meters, B, it has reached to 20 meters, C, it has reached to 30 meters, and D, it has reached to 40 meters per second every 5 seconds. So initial velocity at A is 10 meters per second. Fine. Let's try to find out what is the change in the velocity from A to B. So A is the initial velocity, B when it has reached afterwards, it's the final velocity of it. So final velocity over here is after 5 seconds, it has achieved 20 meters per second. And initial velocity is 10 meters per second. If you try to find out how much is the acceleration, you will have to use the formula final velocity minus initial velocity, that is V minus U upon T. So v over here, that is final velocity, is 20 meters per second and initial velocity is 10 meters per second. So when you subtract 20 minus 10, you get the answer 10 meters per second divided by 5 seconds. So 10 meters by 5 seconds, when you divide, you get the answer as 2 meters per second square is the acceleration at the time interval of 5 seconds. Next 5 seconds, how much is the acceleration? Let us try to find out. So at C, when it reaches at C after 5 seconds, its velocity is increased to 30 meters per second. So 30 is the final velocity now, 20 is the initial velocity. So if you find out the acceleration, it will be the change in velocity, final minus initial. So final 30 minus 20, it becomes 10 meters per second. 10 meters per second upon 5 seconds, it becomes again 2 meters per second square. And lastly also 40 minus 30, if you calculate, it becomes 10 meters per second upon 5 seconds, again it becomes 2 meters per second square. So at every path traveled, you see that there is a uniform change in the acceleration. 2 meters per second, 2 meters per second, 2 meters per second. Fine. So this type of acceleration, change in the acceleration, is also called as uniform acceleration. Is that clear, students? So I hope so you have understood this uniform acceleration. Let's go for the next one, that is non-uniform acceleration. Okay, now these are some of the examples of uniform acceleration. If you see, when a ball is thrown from down, it is coming under the influence of gravity, the velocity goes on changing. Okay, so it goes on changing and it changes uniformly. Therefore this type of free fall is having uniform acceleration. Whereas in the second case, if you see a ball rolling down a slide, again you will find its velocity goes on changing. So therefore it has accelerated motion. So it is also an example of uniform type of motion where it goes on changing uniformly. Right. Now next thing we will see what is meant by non-uniform acceleration. So if the velocity changes by an equal amount in so this is unequal. It is not an unequal. By mistake I typed it as unequal. It is if the velocity changes by unequal amounts in equal intervals of time, the object is said to be in uniform acceleration. Non-uniform acceleration. So if you see the non-uniform acceleration, you will always find in a traffic. Suppose you are going somewhere. Okay, initially you have from rest, if you have started, your velocity 0 meters per second. Okay, and in time interval of 1 minute or maybe 60 seconds, you have traveled to a certain distance, and after traveling to a certain distance, your velocity has reached to around, maybe after 1 minute, maybe it has reached to maybe 20 meters per second. Okay, after that you find that there is a lot of traffic in between. You since there is a traffic signal, you put a brake. That means what has happened, your velocity has reduced now and it has almost come to 0 meters per second, correct? So in the next 60 seconds. So this type of acceleration you will find where? In the traffic. Non-uniform type of acceleration. Let's take now this example. Let's see that red car which you see over here, it is having non-uniform acceleration. Why? Because every time it has to go on changing its velocity, but non-uniformly. It's not uniform velocity change. Here it is non-uniform. Sometimes it is increasing, sometimes it is decreasing, sometimes again it is increasing, sometimes completely stopping. So this is a type of, you will find that the velocity change is there, but that change is non-uniform. Therefore this type of acceleration is called as non-uniform. So here you can see again A to B, B to C, C to D in first 5 seconds, second 5 seconds, third 5 seconds. From A it has started from 10 meters per second. By the time it reaches to B in next 5 seconds, it has acquired a velocity of 15 meters per second by covering somewhat distance. Okay. Then how much is the change in the acceleration, or how much is the change in the velocity? So 15 minus 10, when you do, it becomes 5. So 5 upon 5, you get the answer 1 meter per second square is the acceleration. Next from B to C, if you see, it is 5 minus 15. 5 minus 15 is nothing but minus 10 upon 5, which is becoming minus 2 meters per second square. That means its velocity has decreased. Okay, so you will now learn about something called a negative acceleration. So here it is negative acceleration or something called as deceleration or retardation, wherein there is decrease in the velocity. When it is increase in velocity is called as positive increase, and when it is decreasing, that means it is negative. Okay, or retardation, it is retarding its velocity or decreasing its velocity, it is called as negative acceleration. You will learn after this. So in the first it is 1 meters per second, in the second it becomes minus 2 meters per second, and in the third let us see 20 minus 5 is 15 upon 5, which become 3 meters per second. Again it has increased. So from increase it has decreased and again it has increased. There is a change in velocity every time, but is this change in velocity uniform? No, it is non-uniform at every distance is covered, right? So such type of acceleration is also called as non-uniform acceleration. Okay, so this is regarding uniform and non-uniform acceleration. Uniform acceleration, I'll give you example of the free fall, whatever is falling freely just under the influence of gravity, it's always having uniform acceleration. Even if a bike is going down the slope, it will also have uniform acceleration. Ball rolling on the slide also will have uniform acceleration. So these are examples of uniform acceleration. Whereas non-uniform acceleration, it is the traffic jam, what you can see over here, wherein you will have to increase sometimes, you have to decrease sometimes, when you have to stop completely sometimes. So every time you find that your acceleration goes on changing, but non-uniformly. So this is example of non-uniform acceleration. Let's go now the next part of the lesson, that is positive, negative and zero acceleration. Just now I have given you example of the car which in the beginning it was having positive acceleration. That means there was an increase in the acceleration. So when there is an increase in the acceleration, this is called as positive acceleration. And positive acceleration will always have the direction of the acceleration is always in the direction of the velocity, because since the velocity increases, the acceleration also increases. So this type of acceleration is called as positive acceleration. You can see here in the first case it was positive acceleration. Even in the uniform acceleration it was positive acceleration. Every time it was going on increasing. Fine. Then next is the negative acceleration. Negative acceleration is when the velocity of an object decreases with time. As in this case only, you can see that in the next from B to C it has decreased, correct? Minus it has become. So here it is showing the direction of the acceleration is in the opposite direction to the velocity. Why? Because when you are accelerating it is like this, but when you are decreasing your speed, you do like this. That means your direction was this way first, now it has changed to this way. So acceleration has changed its direction against the direction of the velocity. So such type of acceleration is also called a negative acceleration. Negative acceleration, another term is deceleration. Okay, it is called a deceleration. That means you are decelerating, not accelerating. This is called as accelerating. Positive acceleration is acceleration and negative acceleration is deceleration, or also called as retardation. Its direction is always opposite to the direction of the velocity. Fine. So this is negative, and finally is the zero acceleration. Zero acceleration means if the velocity of the object does not change with time, it has zero acceleration. So uniform acceleration you can also call it as zero acceleration, because here the velocity remains the same. 10 meters per second, 10 meters per second, 10 meters per second, every 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. So here you find that there is no change in the velocity. So when there is no change in the velocity, there is a change, but that that change is uniform. So such type of acceleration is called as zero acceleration. So a car in uniform motion can also be called to have zero acceleration, or even an object which is at rest, because at rest the velocity will be 0 meters per second. Okay, so 0 meters per second every time interval. So at rest also the object can be called to have zero acceleration, or if the object is moving, that means the velocity change will be uniform, or velocity does not change at all, it remains the same every time. So that type of acceleration is called as zero acceleration. So in this video up to here, I hope so you have understood. Now what is your homework for today is that you have to write down what is uniform, non-uniform motion. Okay.